I think a lot of people start with something called house hacking. If you're not familiar with that, that's essentially where you either buy a house or you buy a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. You live in one of the units or one of the bedrooms, and then you rent out the other ones. So that's how I got started, and it was almost by accident. I graduated college, I got my first big boy job, and I kind of figured that okay, I'm a college graduate. I've got this job now. The next best thing to do, the next step is okay, I got to buy a house. And then one day, almost by accident, my uncle said, "Oh, are you going to rent out the bedrooms?" And I can't believe I hadn't even thought of that. Like it's such a basic thing, but I was like, "Oh, I was just going to pay the mortgage all by myself." But that's a really good idea. And so that's exactly how it started. And it's funny because my wife, she did the exact same thing before we even got married. So I was house hacking, she was house hacking. We were renting out the bedrooms to our different friends and stuff like that. And so my wife and I, we actually joke that we fell in love at first mortgage, and
I like
that's how it
that.
started.
So you married another hustler, is what you're saying.
That's right. That's
Heck
right.
yeah, man.
How
That's good.
many girls are walking around house hacking?
No doubt, man.
How old were you at this point, Bryce?
I was 23 when I got started, bought my first
Wow.
house.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Now, was your uncle a real estate guy when he said, why aren't you renting out
No,
the bedroom?
no, not at all. He was just like, "Oh, you should rent out the rooms to your buddies. You don't need a 4-bedroom house." And he was right. I didn't. So it
Everybody's
worked
got
out
that
better than I
uncle.
could have thought.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got
Everyone has that uncle. I don't know what it is. And what's his name? Uncle Mike?
Scott, pretty
Okay.
close.
I feel like everybody has an Uncle Mike who's telling them what to do financially. I don't know what it is,
Yep.
but it's so funny. Now, Bryce, you said that was your first deal was buying that house. So was it just a single family house and you just 3-bed, 4-bath? What market are you into?
Exactly. So I live in Southeast Idaho. So it is, relatively speaking, compared to most places in the country, it's a lower cost of living. But the principle applies anywhere you live. I mean, whether you live in California or New York, like you can do a lot of these same principles. But yeah, it was just a single family house, 4-bed, 2-bath. And I stayed in the master bedroom, had my own bathroom, and then the other three guys just shared one bathroom, and got kind of gnarly at sometimes, but I had my own, so it didn't matter.
So we're all numbers guys here, and I'm guessing a majority of the people listen to this show right now are numbers people as well. Do you remember roughly what your mortgage was for that first home you purchased, and then what you were renting out those rooms for? And then
Yeah,
were
totally.
you
So
cash flow
the
positive? Were you negative? Where'd you come out at?
Yeah, so the house was, I bought it for $147,000. And again, I know a lot of people are probably like, "Whoa, that's so cheap." And that at the time it seemed like a ton to me. That was my very first house. I mean, $150,000. But my mortgage was $830 a month. That included taxes and insurance. And I rented out each of the bedrooms for $350. So
Oh, wow.
350 times three, roughly $1,000 bucks. So it paid for my entire mortgage. And then I had about 200 bucks on top of that I could use for utilities, just random things, maintenance to fix up the house. And then oftentimes it bought me lunch once or twice throughout the month too. So it was a win-win.
So you're living for free at a house you purchased at 23. You're actually getting paid to live at your house at 23 years old. How incredible is that? That's amazing.
Right. It was nuts. It was a dream come true. And I think a lot of people don't realize too is like, not only are you living for free and making $200 plus, but if I hadn't been doing that, I would also be paying an additional $800 out of pocket. So it's really like I'm cash flow positive $1,000 almost, which at the time, I mean, that's a huge difference in your budget.